to a series of conversations called My Lourdes Story, where I'll be talking to various people about their Lourdes experience and what Lourdes means to them. I'm Joan Cahill, and I've spent a lot of time over the last few years in Lourdes, a place that is very special to me. I'm talking today to Emma Marner. Emma was born in County Down, and she travels every year to Lourdes with the Diocese of Dromore. So thank you, Emma, for talking to me today.
Hello, Joan. It's great to talk to you and share a few experiences of my times in Lourdes and what's made me go back year after year.
So can we start off, Emma, with you telling us a little bit about yourself? I know you grew up in Ballynahinch in County Down, so tell us a little bit about growing up.
Okay, so I grew up in a small town, Ballynahinch, as you said. I have 4 brothers. I'm the only girl. So I just had to muck in, get on the boiler sits and do whatever they did. I think it was more of a hindrance sometimes playing with them, but anyway. And well, faith-wise, our faith was very important to our family. All my brothers would have been altar servers. Every Sunday we were in Mass, and I remember wee memories of Holy Thursday. Mummy walking us, Daddy was at work, Mummy walking us up to the services for the boys to get their feet washed, so she had to buy new socks in the market, and the market was on a Thursday, so it worked out well. So I have great memories of family life, going to Mass and all the excitement of the ceremonies and things like that. So I think that stuck with me, and sometimes, sadly now, I think it's a bit lacking in families. I remember we didn't go on big holidays the way families would now. We just went on day trips to the beach and maybe threw all the sand in Daddy's old Capri, all the 5 of us in the back, just taking the sand home to play with, had a ball. That was just a small basic life, but it was amazing. Great memories, and it's kept us close through the years, which is great.
And Emma, I know you're a classroom assistant at the moment, and you were telling me that the children always give you petitions to bring to Lourdes with you. So can I just ask you, how do you describe Lourdes to them?
Yes, the children really are fascinated to hear stories, especially if you're talking about children of a similar age and maybe about children that aren't well, and they want to hear all the gory details. But they get really into it, and they ask some questions, and they always want to pray for everybody. Then they start telling you these stories, and you're wondering, some of them made up, some of them are we worry. So I would explain to them about Bernadette and the apparitions, and how she was just a wee young girl, and she just was out with her sisters and her cousins, and just really giving a wee background, the importance, why it's important to me, and why they should say a wee prayer if they're ever worried. And I tell them, just write down a wee petition, pray for whoever you can. And I was telling them about grannies and grandads. They love to hear stories, and about wheelchairs, that they're fascinated with wheelchairs. And I emphasize how it's such fun. So hopefully, maybe some of them, if they get a chance in later years, will go. And we've had a few children actually come out as assisted pilgrims from the school I've been in, and they have really thoroughly loved it, come back, told the children their side of it. And it's great that the children are so enthusiastic.
That's lovely to tell them that at an early age.
Yeah.
The first time you went to Lourdes was in 1995, and you said you went as part of the youth group. So how did that come about?
Well, I knew very little about Lourdes. My granny would have went, but she went with Down and Connor. She was in a different diocese. And that's all I really knew. I was young, I didn't really have much interest. So in 6th year in St. Coleman's High School in Ballynahinch, a few friends opted for going to Lourdes whenever the opportunity came. And I thought, well, if they're going to go, I'll go too. So I went. I'd only been away once before, and that was to Switzerland with the girl guides, the local girl guides. And that was on a bus. So it was my first time on a plane. So I was 16, coming 17, actually out in Lourdes. We got on the plane, excitement. Couldn't believe it when we landed. It was just, oh, wow. My friend and I stayed up all night, first all-nighter. We got to know our leaders, were amazing, our chaplains. So I don't know if you're aware, but usually when we go in May, there's a military pilgrimage.
Yeah.
fascinating to see all the military in their gear singing. Oh, the town just stands still. So we had a brilliant musical priest, and he got us all the youth. Oh, wow, we thought we were the bee's knees. He got us all to sing through the streets. Everybody parted ways for us to come through, even the military. And we just thought we were the bee's knees. It was amazing. And that was one memory sticks of maybe the second, third night in Lourdes. And it was just, I don't know if I can describe it, but you felt like you knew who you were, who you wanted to be, because I think 16, 17 can be a difficult age. And I just had a purpose. And that was just, wow, just amazing. And even now, I remember that first night ever in Lourdes. Just couldn't wait, the excitement, just, ah.
And you went back then, Emma, as you were part of the diocesan choir as well. That's such a privilege, isn't it, to be part of the choir at the ceremonies?
You know, it really is, Joan. So the last pilgrimage we had was 2000, was sad to say, but 2019. And the choir were asked to sing down at the baths. And our choir master, Conor MacDonald, played about with the words of Let It Be to We Believe. So we were outside the baths singing, praying, saying the rosary, doing our songs. And I got up and started singing that. And we believe, we believe. And all of a sudden, it was all the nationalities all joined in singing it. And it was like, wow, it was just one of those moments where it's like this surreal. And then at the end of it, well, I suppose it shouldn't have happened, but they started clapping because they all felt something, that we were all united for the same reason. It didn't matter what nationality, what language you spoke, everybody was getting we believe. And that's just the message of Lourdes. We believe, and that's why we keep going back.
And it was so appropriate to sing it at the baths, wasn't it?
Really was. And you know, people are going into the baths with ailments, with, I think sometimes you need to bring a bit of happiness, and just, you know, lift their spirits. And the baths can be, as you would know, quite sad.
Yeah.
They are sad. I worked in them one year, and it just, I'm hard-hearted to a certain extent, but it pulls at the heartstrings. It really does. And I remember, not to take away anyone's dignity, but I remember just watching a lady on a stretcher, and I'm sitting waiting to go in, and I'm just thinking, what am I complaining about? That lady could do nothing for herself, but such dignity was shown to that woman. She was the special visitor in those baths at that time. It was all for her, and it was just amazing to see people could be so humane towards each other. And it was just, just gives you goosebumps to think of it.
And you've continued to go back, Emma, every year. And I know you work down in the Akai. You must have some fantastic memories and stories from, you know, with the assisted pilgrims.
Well, I don't know if I can tell them all, but I've got the sad side where one sticks in my mind. There was an elderly man, and I got talking to him out on the roof. You know, when you have your wee parties for the assisted pilgrims. We were standing looking out over Lourdes at the top of the Akai. I started talking away, and he just said to me, I can't believe I'm here. And we got talking, and he said how he didn't see anybody when he was at home. And the only person he would have got to see was a social worker. And he said, so many people speak to him. He's valued out there, and the crack he was having, and just no matter what, every year he was going to try, save his money and get back. But I haven't seen him back since. And every year I go out, I just think of him and wonder, did he ever get back out? Because he just was in awe, and he just felt important. And it was just,
I suppose for a lot of the assisted pilgrims, Emma, they wouldn't have the company at home, and to come out for the 5 or 6 days and have the constant company, it must be just so lovely for them.
It is. And, you know, not to put anyone down, but it's about them, and treated like kings and queens, because they're the special ones. They're the ones that are having the strength to go on every day and take their ailment. And going to Lourdes is like they understand they have this, but they're not letting it beat them, and their faith is bringing them through. And it's wonderful to see people who are struggling have so much faith, and that's when you realize you do have faith when you're struggling. It'd be easy to just blame someone, but no, it's fabulous.
And I believe you had a special visitor one year. You had Susan Boyle call in to you.
Oh, we did. We were living it up. We had a special guest. We thought they were joking because we have a lady who would impersonate Susan Boyle now and again, Mairead, and the word was, oh, Susan Boyle's coming, and we hadn't seen her. So we thought, oh, nothing. And then who walks in but Susan Boyle? She was just like, oh gosh, we're not the quietest bunch, put it that way, and especially at a party. So she sang, and oh my goodness, it was just fabulous. I have a brilliant memory. Sorry, I must share with you just when I remember. President Marcosi, I think I've got that right, was over for some weapons, military process or something. But anyway, it was my birthday, and we had overhead flights of our equivalent to the Red Arrows and cars coming down and spreading out. And I just said that was for my 40th birthday. So my birthdays are never quiet.
Lovely. And Emma, over the years, I've heard of so many romances that start in Lourdes. So you have to tell us what happened to yourself.
Well, I was in the airport, and I think you get a special power when you put on your Lourdes uniform. Gives you a confidence you'll talk to anybody. So I had my uniform on, and I was just going around offering anybody in a uniform a sweet. And then I got talking to this man, and over the next 2 years, he went to Lourdes twice. We became friends, and now he is my husband.
Oh, that's lovely.
So, well, his prayers were answered, Joan. He didn't need to go back after those 2 years. So he didn't. That's what I tell him anyway.
And Emma, what is it that keeps bringing you back year after year?
I think it's hard to put it into words. It's just like a feeling of missing out, a feeling of you go every year to recharge your batteries. You work and you work. You definitely work. You're working early morning, late at night. But it's not work, and it's sort of, you doesn't really understand what Lourdes has been until you come home, I think, because you're so busy. And then it's not until a week or two later when you find that peace. Now, I mean, standing at the grotto, you couldn't help but have peace, especially at night time. But it just draws you back. We would say it's like you've got the Lourdes bug. It's just in your blood. From that day, first day I stepped in Lourdes, I just knew this was home.
Yeah.
This is where I belong.
Yeah.
And it just pulls you back every year.
You've put it so well, actually, Emma. It's like home. It's like coming back home or something when you arrive there. It's just, Our Lady calling you back. It's so special, really, isn't it?
It really is. And you have to always make sure you put that rose at the Crown Virgin statue. And don't look back.
And of course, you were due your 25-year service medal, of course, last year. So hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully you'll be able to get it next year.
God willing, yes. 2 years is enough to miss out. It has to happen next year, no matter what.
Absolutely. So lovely talking to you. Thank you so much. Can I ask you before we leave if you will leave us with a thought for the day?
Yes. I was thinking about this, and my initial thought for the day was going to be, I heard years ago, and I tell the children this at school, every time you say a Hail Mary, it's like giving Our Lady a rose. But I have since been reading the 33-day book of getting ready for, I can't remember just the name off the top of my head, but there's a quote from Mother Teresa, and it just goes something along the lines of, wouldn't it be great if we counted our blessings instead of always focusing on the hurt and the bad? And since I read that, I have really tried to focus on what's positive and not let a negative pull you in, because I think that's very easy to happen.
And I know she said something lovely as well that always stuck with me. we can do no great things, but we can do small things with great love. I always remember that's something she said as well. So focus on the small things, not the big things.
Exactly.
And
oh
yeah, go ahead.
Joan, sorry, just before I forget, I'd just like to say about our virtual pilgrimage that's taking place, just in case anybody's not aware of it. It's happening in St. Paul's at the minute for the Dromore Diocese. And that also, Enda Brady has been doing the rosary every night since lockdown started. And it's a wonderful way to keep Lourdes in our heart because it's from the grotto every night.
That's lovely, Emma. That's really, really nice. Of course, Dromore should be in Lourdes at the moment, of course. So that's a lovely way of producing it, keeping it in your heart. So, Emma, thank you so much for talking to me. It's been absolutely lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you very much indeed.